Across the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar, you'll behold in breathless wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. My name is Ryan Doze. I am your host, as always, and today we are going to dive back into our throwback series. So, for a while, our throwback series has been a little inconsistent on the show. We've done it on our regular release days, we've tried it on Thursdays. Really, it's been kind of all over the place, and I totally understand if that's your thought, because that's my thought, and I'm the one that does them. So, here's what we're going to try to do with the throwback series. I am embarking this year on an ambitious retrospective of Jason Aaron's Thor run, and that's going to take up not all, but a bulk of our main feed, our Monday shows. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on Thursday, release these mini episodes, probably 15 to 20 minutes, where we're going to talk about one issue of the Mighty Thor, of Journey into Mystery, in our sequential order that we've been doing. We're going to do one issue, maybe sometimes with a special guest, but a lot of times it'll just be a little digestible bit of information about an issue going into your weekend that you can listen to on the go, whether you have to go get groceries or you have to run errands or you just want to wake up and talk about comics, listen to someone else talk about comics. There's just a little bit of the reasoning behind how we're gonna try and do the throwback series coming up. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We can always rethink how we do that, but that's what we're gonna do for now. So today's issue of Journey into Mystery is number 120. The title is With My Hammer in Hand. So this issue picks up after a storyline where Thor's hammer had been broken. It had been, well, not completely broken, it had been cracked. And he had to go off to the forges of Pittsburgh to have it to have it mended. So just a brief synopsis of this issue, and I'll fill in the blanks as we break down this particular issue. Thor arrives back on Midgard as Don Blake, and he discovers that his medical practice is empty and that Jane Foster is nowhere to be found. So, a little bit of intrigue with this particular issue of Thor. The creative team on this book, it was written in the fire of inspiration by Stan Lee. It was drawn with the flame of dedication by Jack Kirby. It was inked in the heat of devotion by Vince Colletta. It was lettered in the other room by Artie Simic. So really, I love this device that Stanley has where he adds character and he adds kind of some pomp and some circumstance even to the roster of creators that were on these books. And then he usually pokes fun at the person who is in that cleanup spot at number 4. So this has kind of the theme of, because the first image of Thor that we get in this issue is him reforging his hammer and mending it. So we play off that theme of fire and flame, and we get that in even the credits here. So that's kind of a cool little thing that Stan adds in there. In fact, the cover of this issue, I have a mug that has Thor's face from the cover of this on there. So little bit of fact, I have a mug with the exact cover on this issue. So cool fact. I'm going to take a sip of coffee actually right now. So I am a true believer. I am a believer that you should always read comics while you're drinking coffee. It's a fantastic pairing. If you're on Instagram, go follow Coffee and Comics or Comics and Coffee. That's a great little account there. He does the exact same thing where he breaks down comics with a cup of coffee in hand. So you can always trust someone that's got a cup of coffee in hand and a good comic book. So Here's just some thoughts about this issue that we'll share with you. I'm not going to do the page by page breakdown because I often find that it got a little tedious. And so I'm going to try to hit some high points for you. And if you want to go back and read this page by page, for some reason I'm having a difficulty with page by page. If you want to go back and check this out, by all means, be my guest. I want to hit some high points for you to keep this episode bite-sized for, whatever you've got going on. We begin this new little story arc because we finished the one with the trial of the gods and the Norn stones. We finished that one up for now. Thor's hammer was broken, like we know from last issue. He fixes it and then he goes to return the Norn stones to Odin, and he unobservantly he forgets one on Midgard, so there's one Norn stone missing. Loki is up to his usual no good. He imprisons Ularic the Warlock, and he sets his plan in motion by retrieving our old friend, the Absorbing Man, Crusher Creel, from space. So, in case you've forgotten, since last we did our throwback series, Loki, because he cheated in the trial of the gods that he and Thor competed in, because he cheated, he has become kind of a servant or a manservant to a warlock named Ularic. So, in the first few pages of this issue, Ularic is taken hostage by Loki, and Loki is using the various things in the warlock's home to enact his newest and his latest and greatest master plan. Thor's search for Jane back on Midgard leads him all over New York City, and we even go to Avengers Mansion. Avengers Mansion, and it's not the team that Thor is used to. It's the team of Hawkeye, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch, which we'll talk a little bit more about them in a few minutes. This issue, for the most part, this issue feels like a housekeeping issue. And by that, I mean it's tying up some loose ends from last issue, and it's setting up some story points for the next issue. But there's not a lot. I'll put it this way: a lot happens in this issue, but not a lot of things that are sequential in this issue alone. Like if you picked up this issue of Journey into Mystery, it probably wouldn't be the most satisfying read because there's not like a big fight scene, there's not like a big action thing. It's getting a lot done for the stories that we're about to read, if that makes sense to you. On the second page, though, on the second page of the story, there's a unique thing that, to my recollection, it's the first time that's shown up in a Jack Kirby Thor book. We get one of these awesome collages that Jack Kirby was famous for. It adds a unique touch to the comic. So I'm going to describe this in words the best I can, but really you should go to the comic and you should look at it yourself. It's an awesome panel. It is in the foreground, you see Thor and some of the iron workers. They're celebrating that Thor has completed repairing his hammer. That is done in normal comic drawing, pencils, inks, everything. But the background is an actual picture, like a picture you would take on a Polaroid or a camera, and it's been kind of filtered red. So it's this back image of a forge, of a factory, and it's overlaid red, and then the comics, the pencils and the inks are over top of that. Kirby would do this a lot in, I believe, Fantastic Four is where it showed up first and most prominently, but it's really nice to see it here in a Thor title. And I just really enjoy little things like that. It kind of adds to the uniqueness of books like this issue that, like I said, is kind of a housekeeping issue. The interchange, speaking of the Avengers that we mentioned, that was kind of my favorite little weird moment of the issue when Thor has words with the Avengers, but again, it's not the Avengers team that he's used to. It's this new all the kids, all the new hip Avengers, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Hawkeye, who I did a little bit of math here. Thor has not been gone from the Avengers book that long. So a few issues, I think it was like 13 or 14 issues into the Avengers book, they had this kind of roster turnover where Thor and Iron Man and Giant Man and the Wasp, they left the book for a little while, and these new characters come on in. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, most notably from the X-Men books, and Hawkeye, who made his start in the Iron Man comics. So they join the team. Captain America is still on the team. He's kind of the leader. And Thor jumps into this conversation with the three newest members of the Avengers, and they have a really weird interchange. Um, he walks in the door and he says, "Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, you occupy this room as if you belong here." It's like no one gave Thor the memo that the roster has changed a little bit. Nobody. And Captain America's not there. He's on an errand. He's on an errand. That's just it's like the most pedestrian way to get Cap out of this situation. Thor walks away frustrated. Um and Hawkeye even says like, "Oh, we don't need Captain America. We don't need that shield slinger. What needs doing, pal? We're here to help." And Thor walks away frustrated. "It is nothing. You cannot help me. I shall be on my way again." So he needed the help of the Avengers, but he was looking for a very specific set of Avengers. And because he couldn't find his old friends, he storms out and he thinks to himself, "Through many battles, I have fought shoulder to shoulder with the old Avengers. But these new, brash, arrogant youngsters, I cannot bring myself to request aid of such as these." Okay, so all of a sudden, Thor is this grumpy, curmudgeonly old man when he needs help finding Jane, but he's not gonna ask these kids to help him. So a little weird curmudgeonly moment from Thor. And Scarlet Witch even tries to say, like, "Well, wait, like just what do we tell Captain America?" And Thor says, "Tell him an old battle companion dropped by to wish him well." So the most pointless visit to Avengers Mansion. Thor does not like the young, hip Avengers. So, oh my gosh, I thought that was awesome because he gets so frustrated so fast. And actually, w- speaking of these new Avengers, there's something else going on in Marvel Comics at this time around when Journey into Mystery 120 came out, and it was the wedding of Reed and Sue Richards in the Fantastic Four annual number 3. So the annuals were these big kind of extra sized, extra special, um, highlighted issues that didn't always take place in the continuity of the normal numbering of comics. So they were kind of a special yearly thing. And the wedding of Reed and Sue Richards was happening around this time. And Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver were also at the wedding. So Thor is at the wedding with all of them. And yeah, they would have seen each other again. So maybe, I haven't read that issue just yet. I would like to. But he probably gave him a scolding about being young and hip. And so he, he probably thought they were wedding crashers or something like that, as if that was a thing in the 60s. So we've come to the kind of the end of the little bite-sized review here. And I think we're going to continue to do this because the segment that I put with our throwback series, the read it or leave it segment, the little advice that I'm going to give you. And that's only because I understand that a lot of us don't have time to just read comprehensively like a completionist. Like you want kind of the high points and the issues that really kind of matter. And so for this issue, Journey into Mystery 120, would I recommend that you read it or leave it? I would recommend that you leave it. So, I hope that this breakdown has been helpful for you, and maybe this is the way that you digest this issue, which is awesome. I'm glad that we can do that. But if you were going to go read a comic this week from this era, from this run of Thor, I would leave this. And it's not because there aren't good things in it, it's because like I've said several times, it's a housekeeping issue where a lot is going on, but the story isn't really progressing yet. Now, the next issue, Journey into Mystery 121, that issue is a lot different. And a lot of the foundational pieces of what happens in that issue are established in this one. So it plays its role, but if you wanted to read it just by itself, I would say probably leave it for a different issue. So that does it for Journey into Mystery 120. This again was entitled With My Hammer in Hand. And this was a good read, an informational read. And I hope you enjoyed our breakdown, this new kind of format that we're going to do for Throwback Thursday. And I hope this has been kind of a good little bite sized bit of Thor to get you into the weekend and get you on your way, whatever you're doing. So, as we head out on this one, I'll just give you some reminders of how you can support the show. Be sure to go to our social medias. We are at Mighty Thor Podcast on Instagram. We have a free Facebook group that you can join. We would love to have you join that. We just ask you to be kind and courteous to everybody in the group. There's a lot of great Thor fans there that would love to talk about the mightiest Avenger with you. And I haven't mentioned this a lot because I kind of forget, but we do have a Patreon, and I'm gonna be a lot better about getting things up on our Patreon. I've got a new segment that we're gonna add on that. It's gonna be called "I've Got Issues," and I'm basically gonna be talking about what the other things that I'm reading and the other things that I'm enjoying, some recommendations for you of what my reading list looks like. So be sure to go check out our Patreon. We'll share links. And if you want to go find it on your own, it's Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast on Patreon. So you can join our Thor Core for $5 a month, and that'll get you several pieces of bonus content every month. And like I said, our main kind of recurring thing on there is going to be Ryan's show I've Got Issues. So look forward to you joining us on Patreon for all the bonus stuff we're going to be throwing up there. And yeah, you can also email the show. Another thing that I've been woefully neglecting as we've been doing, we're closing in on 50 episodes. Well, actually, no, we've already done 50 episodes. Ah, congratulations for us. You can also reach out to us on email if you prefer email. Awesome. Go to mightythorpodcast@gmail.com. Send us episode suggestions, send us what we're doing well, what we could be doing better, what you like about the show, just anything, maybe guest ideas. There's a good one. What you liked about this issue of Journey into Mystery, anything. If you want to reach out to the show, you can email us, reach us out to us on social media, join us on Patreon. There's a lot of different ways that you can engage with the show. So that being said, as always, as we head out on this bite-sized issue episode of Across the Bifrost, I remind you, friends, dear listeners, to stay worthy.